Super Mario Maker 2's story mode serves one main purpose, and that's to inspire people. All the levels you'll play show to a great extent how you can use all the gizmos, enemies, and power-ups, so I thought it would be fun to go over the top 10 most creative levels. This list is based purely off the most ingenious ideas, plus bonus points if the level is a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's go. Starting off today with the new Super Mario Bros. Style, this level fully utilizes what this particular game style offers us. In Get Over It, you have to slowly traverse your way down an auto-scrolling path with poison at the bottom. The idea seems like it isn't too original, but the way the level was built makes it stand out among the others. You switch back and forth from wall jumping off the walls to walking down land to start. This is a good way to warm you up for what this level is going to throw at you. You need to be really cautious for when it's safe to touch down on the ground. Along the way, you'll start to notice buzzsaws sticking out of the wall, which forces you to wall jump around them. As you progress, more and more buzzsaws come into contact, and this forces you to constantly improve and be more aware of your surroundings. This simple idea is expanded even further when the snake block wiggles in, forcing you to pick between wall jumping on the left or right side. And you can't tell which side is better or safer, so you just have to wing it and hope for the best. Now, if you're good, you can switch sides here, but that's easier said than done. I just really love how this level took a simple idea and really ran with it to create something unique and interesting. There's even a swinging claw section where you can go for 10 coins if you're feeling daring enough. The only thing I would have wanted to see is this level be a bit longer, or maybe have a section where you have to rise up instead of down. But otherwise, it's a ton of fun to play and overall a cool idea. The question we've been asking ourselves for generations: good Lakitu or bad Lakitu? Well, to tell you the truth, it's a bit of both with this level, and the way it's implemented is pretty awesome. You're secluded to the bottom of the stage, and you'll notice enemies like Munchers and Spinies loafing around. While you can jump over them, they're kinda scary to go over, but that's where the good Lakitus come in, throwing PAL blocks above your head. And that's how this level starts. You wait for a Lakitu to drop a PAL block and hope you can use it to clear your path and make your scenario more manageable. But then things get escalated as one-way walls enter the ceiling and bad Lakitu start chucking Spinies your way. This is where it can get challenging since it's totally random where the Spiny will end up landing. So now you have to worry about that, as well as the enemies on the ground and waiting on PAL blocks to assist you. It's just a really neat dynamic because of how little room you have to jump. In a way, it's kind of claustrophobic. Getting through that part is so satisfying though, because then you can grab a star from a box and plow right through a Lakitu and take their cloud. After that, you have some Hammer Bros to worry about, and then you'll use the bombs that Lakitu throws to escape from the bottom and finish the level. The concept of good Lakitu, bad Lakitu is not only creative, but it constantly changes throughout your whole playthrough, and even manages to be nerve-wracking at times. Never in my life would I think that Save Me Snake Block would exist as a level, because most of the time I don't want to be near a snake block. But somehow, in some way, Nintendo devised a level where the snake block actually helps protect you as you're playing through. For the beginning, you have to face off against lots of fish bones, but the blocks save your skin on the bottom half, so you only have to worry about the top. Then you'll encounter thwomps, which, if done right, are blocked entirely from your snake block. And the same thing happens with the Goombas and the skewers. The only real downside is this level's a little too short, but the creativity behind it is simply astounding. I never would have thought of using snake blocks in this type of manner, and I gotta applaud Nintendo for coming up with the idea. A new upgrade for thwomps in this game is their ability to move sideways, and this level fully takes advantage of that concept and goes crazy with it. Impassable Castle is held in a castle, I know, riveting idea, right? But it uses thwomps as obstacles and puzzle pieces at the same time. This first part at the beginning requires you to activate the thwomp so that it can ram its way through the chain chomp and you can move forward. This idea is expanded on even further once you get the Buzzy Beetle shell. Now you can push thwomps higher to knock enemies out of the way, break break blocks or help you get coins. It's so bizarre how thwomps are treated like an ally here. It makes you really think carefully about how to utilize them and even appreciate them. The game also throws a lot of bonus coins at you, where you can grab all the ones in your path, but they're put in very tricky sections. It's cool that you're given an extra gold to get every coin if you so desire to. And at the end, you're supposed to knock out this chain chomp in the Koopa Clown car, but honestly, you can just jump over him and beat the level as is. There's probably a reward for destroying the chomp, but I don't feel like harming the guy. I'll just let him chill in the car for the rest of eternity. I'm sure you saw this coming, but now we're diving into the puzzle levels, the first being called the Keymaster. This one requires you to roam into several different rooms via pipe and find the key inside. You're gonna need either a POW block, P-switch, or trampoline to get these keys. The challenge, of course, is figuring out which item will work for each room. What's really nice is the rooms have a distinct theme which you can see even before entering it. Like this one all the way to the left is based off of blocks, and as you can see, there's blocks on the sides of the pipe to let you know that. The rooms themselves are a lot of fun to figure out. Like this one with the twister requires you to put a block in the gap so that it can make its way to the right side and allow you to grab the key up above. Every one of these rooms has a small puzzle attached to it, and they're simple enough that the level doesn't feel like it's dragging on. To complete the Keymaster, you technically only need 4 keys, as you can see by the exit. So if you wanted, you could clear the gold ring and be done with it, but by going through this pipe up above, we can see there's another room with even more doors that need keys. So then you may get the keys from all 6 rooms and realize that's not enough. Well, crazy enough, the pipe at the very beginning that drops the mushrooms is actually another room you can enter. Once you get inside, you'll throw the POW block into the clown car so it'll come down and let you nab this key. This part kind of stumped me for a bit, but it's simply genius how they went about this stage, and you're rewarded very handsomely with all these coins if you get every key. Plus you can touch the top of the goal pole. I'm not much of a puzzle guy, but this one was genuinely satisfying to complete. And we're just getting started with these types of levels, as the Stone of Destiny is the next one on our list. I have pretty mixed feelings about the way the stone works in this game because of how much it slows down your movement, but the way it's used here is just so darn clever that it made me appreciate this new type of object. Like the previous level, you'll have to collect a bunch of keys, but the puzzles require a bit more brain power. Like this first room, you have to hit the on/off switch so the stone can slide to the note block, bounce up, block the bullet bills from coming out of the blaster, and giving you time to grab the key. Then there's the one with the swinging claw where you feed the claw your stone and then you stand on it in order to get the key that way. I found that trying to figure out these puzzles was more gratifying than the level from before, and it requires you to be a bit more cautious as well. And I love how you can completely bamboozle this muncher in the hub. Just put the stone underneath them, then the muncher will fly into this tiny space and trap itself so you can nab the 10 coins. Get zucked, dummy. This is just another fantastic level that's gonna inspire a lot of really awesome puzzles for the future and beyond. But now it's time for what's probably the most challenging puzzle level in the story mode, Secret of the Dry Bone Shell. If you haven't figured out how this power-up works, you'll be forced to learn everything about it if you want to complete this. While you have to find keys like before, you no longer pick your path and everything is more linear. You'll instead need to get pink coins, and boy are they put in some pretty ridiculous places. Like look at this one in the bottom left corner. I had to do an extremely precise jump out of the shell just to make it. And then for this one over the spikes, I have to put a shell over this thin platform, then grab another shell just to get my shell over the spikes. While these coins are certainly harder to obtain, I really love the challenge and obstacles we have to endure for them. You get that yes feeling when you get a really hard to reach coin, and you don't often get those moments in games anymore because of how dumbed down they've become. After that is a room where you can get this optional 30 coins, but I quite frankly couldn't figure out how to get them. I think you're supposed to jump up and then grab a shell after it falls from the pipe, but I wasn't able to get this. Then after that, you're gonna have to play dead as it's the only way to avoid this thwomp, and you'll do it again to bypass the saw. Your final challenge is hitting this boo so the muncher falls onto the conveyor belt so you can kick a shell into the POW block. These are not the kind of levels I'd expect from Nintendo, but it's nice to see them really embrace more thought-provoking designs like this. When I first saw the swinging claws in the direct trailer, I was pretty stoked to see their potential, but I did not realize we were gonna get a literal crane game out of this. I'm not even exaggerating either. Swing Claw Swing is a level where you can get through these rooms by picking up something like a Goomba or Koopa Troopa, and then positioning Mario in the exact spot where you want the crane to drop the enemy. The second room makes you travel pretty far to get the note block, and the third room forces you to use 2 different cranes. You've also got a crane dropping a P-switch and timing that so the other crane can pick up the Goomba and hit the note block before the P-switch effect goes away. I just love how customizable this new crane object is, and I seriously can't wait to see it utilized in more and more creative ways. There are so many good levels that use the on and off switch, but the best one by far is the on/off Koopa Troopas. The layout honestly reminds me a lot of the crane game one, but now we're using the on and off switches to guide Koopa Troopas to the note block. Timing when to use the switch blocks and figuring out how to complete each puzzle is such a fun time, especially near the end. There's a section that has a spring in the bottom right, and getting there requires you to quickly switch from red to blue and back to red in order to reach it. And then there's the conveyor belt part where you change the direction of the belts. That can be terrifying if your timing isn't supreme. But the best example is with the giant Koopa Troopa. You have to literally knock it out, push the shell in front of the red blocks, then wait for the Koopa to wake up and push itself back out. At that very moment, you have to time the switch blocks or you'll end up destroying the Koopa instead. Going that deep with the Koopa's mechanics is honestly just so cool, and we haven't even gotten to the #1 most creative stage yet. So there's a new clear condition where you're simply not allowed to jump for the level, and No Jump Snowfield is by far the most creative variation in the story mode. The main gimmick is that there are no gimmicks. You're always being thrown new types of obstacles at you all the time. For the beginning, you have to throw a trampoline at the on and off switch so you can cross the giant gap. That moves to using the weight of this trampoline to push down the seesaw so you can get across. After that, you're going to use these thwomps to hit on and off switches, or even hit a P-switch from underneath a thwomp to activate another thwomp, which activates some trampolines to fall over spikes. Like, honestly, you never know what's gonna come next, and even with all this stuff happening, it's still an incredibly fun and well-paced level. It never feels like it's drowned down by a gimmick, but instead is just enhanced. And that is what makes this the #1 level in Super Mario Maker 2's story mode. But with that said, let me know what you think the most creative level in the story mode is down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Until next time.